you've given us a very tough job of, waking you up after lunch. I can see that a lot of people are still enjoying their lunch outside. Hopefully they'll trickle in. So please bear with us. I think what we have today is a panel of people solving the most pressing challenges in sustainability today. So you have water, sanitation, energy, and materials all sort of represented on the panel. So this is definitely a very wide perspective that we have represented here. I would like the panelists to first, just take a couple of minutes to introduce what the company actually does today and where are you headed from here.
Good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, the gulab jamuns were really tasty. So I had two of them. Anyways, so coming to what Rashi said, that introduced myself, I am Namita Banka, the founder of Banka BioLoo, and also the co-founder of Megalita Varana. So my business has basically started off with building toilets and managing your shit. Later on, we said, okay, let's go a little bit more and start managing your wastewater also. So this is what we are, and we are based in Hyderabad. And of course, when Masood sir calls himself a startup, then I think I'm a mini startup right now in water and liquid management space. And that's it about me.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Rashi, for moderating this session, and glad to see some faces in here. I'm Radhika Choudary. I'm one of the co-founders at Freyr Energy. It's a rooftop solar company, and we are currently providing solar solutions for homes and businesses across the country. In fact, we have an interesting thing to share. My co-founder is Saurabh, Rashi's husband, actually. So I can't take a lot of the limelight here. She knows that he's working hard back in the office while I'm here. All right.
Hi, a big good afternoon, and I think we all should wake up after the wonderful lunch. And I think I represent Resustainability as an organization, a carry forward of Mr. Masood's legacy. Here, Net Zero, when you represent, it is anybody, whoever we are talking about, right from zero. If anybody is looking at building things from scratch, we are there. So we are there to support you and take it ahead. Looking forward for the discussion. Thank you.
Great. We'll start that off. So I think the first question, I'm going to keep it to all of you. It's the same question to all of you. I'm going to come around. And this is more, all of you are based in Hyderabad. You're building from Hyderabad. How have we done as a state? Are we doing well for sustainability startups in this state? And as T-Hub, so this is, personal to me in this position that I am in, what can we do as T-Hub, as the state in terms of policy, infrastructure, support to have more like the three of you, more companies like the three of you, to build the next generation of heroes in sustainability come out of Hyderabad. So I'll maybe start with Radhika. Yeah?
Yeah. So I think we are slightly older than Telangana. We have formed in May 2014. I think state of Telangana was I think within 2 weeks time frame is when the state got bifurcated. So in that sense, Telangana is relatively new, and I think T-Hub is about 10 years. It's a fantastic initiative. So what I have seen is there is a lot of potential for the fact that Hyderabad is very centrally located. There are no flood issues. There is no challenges with earthquakes. So in terms of infrastructure development, everything, I think we've done really well for ourselves. Even just to put things in perspective, if the per capita consumption of electricity in the country is about 1,300 units, Telangana is 2,500 units. So that speaks volumes about the development that's happening and the amount of infrastructure that is getting built in the state. And I think what can be done is obviously, we need a similar thing like a Y Combinator, like a T-Combinator. Maybe we need to build that kind of a rigor where today if we talk about startup success, it's a very small percentage that succeeds, right? And when you talk about Y Combinator, if you are aware, it's the Silicon Valley startup group where almost 70 to 80% of the startups succeed. And it's only because of the ecosystem that's built and the access to capital that they have. And I think in India, we have a lot to learn from places like Bangalore. So I think there is a lot of history behind those states. And I think with Telangana, we are already accelerating. Things are great, policies there. A couple of things that did not work in the favor for energy were around open access policy, which was very powerful across the country, but Telangana did not have it for a long time. They opened it, but the implementation was delayed, which will be a big deal. I mean, it'll be like a game changer if that policy actually gets activated. But other interesting things are happening around virtual net metering and group net metering. Interesting things, I will talk more, but it is also for homes. Let's say you're in an apartment or you don't have access to your own roof space, but if you would like to have your own power generated, today it's possible by applying for it, where the panels will sit in a third location, but you're subscribing for those units of electricity, and the government is just mobilizing that policy. So this is going to disrupt the market for the energy sector, and things will be great for Telangana state. Yeah.
Great, thank you. I think Vinod, if you want to go next, and then maybe Namita.
Yeah, as you see, sustainability is quite a commonly used word. But if you actually look at Telangana, when we've been talking about Telangana growing, Telangana in limelight and all that. But relatively, if you look at, there are a lot of startups or the hubs which are there. So as I think my friend mentioned over here specifically, as a city, if you look at logistically, we are located center. In terms of startup ecosystem, we are far ahead. The cost of living is very less. I would say that if you look at Resustainability as an organization, which is the largest organization in Asia, which is stationed over here, headquartered in Hyderabad, present across 11 countries. So that kind of organization has grown over a period right from Telangana, right from the earlier days. But again, coming back to startup, even if it is, we are talking about waste management or industrial or decarbonization, carbon or any kind of sustainability if you take up, there are a lot of startup ecosystems which are evolving. We in fact keep talking to multiple startups which are coming up. They are specialized in AI. They are talking about in terms of getting digital, what we would do in terms of the recycling space. There are solid waste management rules which are coming up at a national level. But I think Telangana as a government, as a state is implementing much, much faster in comparison to other states because we work with other states. You have largest in terms of municipal solid waste plants, the energy recovery plants, all that. But apart from that, if you also look at the next building, which is there, my home, we as an organization, we thought that Hyderabad is the first initiative we should talk. There are something called as, which might sound very small, but kind of a sanitary waste management rule which has come up. So sanitary waste, right now there is a mandate which is being disposed of through ethical recyclers as such. And we at home, people are going, there is an app which is built up, again a startup has built up. Relatively, they go home to home and at a press of a button, the sanitary waste is getting picked up. So there is humongous growth which is happening at Telangana. Thanks.
Great, Namita.
First thing is Telangana for startup or any women entrepreneurs or entrepreneur, it has been great. I've been in many states and I shifted to Hyderabad in 2008 and there's no looking back after that. So I really feel pre this government and the pre-earlier government and before, this has been a state which is very welcoming to entrepreneurs and business people. That was one thing. Second thing, coming to how it's done in circularity and sustainability, I think they were the early adopters of a lot of policies, especially in water and sanitation, like the FSM policy that came up. Then we had water recycling that has come. They are the first ones to adopt it. But yeah, there are issues in implementations, and then there are change in the government now. So there are some issues there. But I think Telangana is one state which is very, very progressive. And setting up an industry in Hyderabad, I remember in 2008 and all, there was so much of power cuts. I think that's past. Now we don't even see power cuts anymore. So that's become a very big for industry especially, because that's where any businessman or an entrepreneur will like to be. Because if they get a surety of 100% water, 100% electricity, I think then we can build up anything that we want.
That's great to hear. I think one thing I'm heartened to hear is multiple people call out what we bring about the narrative of Hyderabad, that it's actually centrally located, which gives us, significant advantages as a startup ecosystem. And I think what I hear from you is that we're doing well on some things, and there are some things we still have ways to go. So we take that as feedback. I think now I'll get into, specific models that all of you are working in. So Radhika, Freyr has been from the start a full stack company, right? You've owned sales, installation, monitoring, the entire stack of energy. Uh, is that the way to build in sustainability? Should a company own the whole stack? Or now that you have the gift of hindsight, there are some things you should have not built and focused. I mean, is building full stack the way to scale, or is it something else?
Yeah, so I think, thanks for the question. So, yeah, so Freyr does the customer acquisition. So for homes or businesses, we explain why they should go for solar. We do the design work. We do the full stack, like Rashi said. The business model has always been that. And what Freyr did differently from what my competition does is we did it all tech driven. So there was a lot of investment from company side. And over the last 12 years, so much has changed on the tech side that we had to go through a lot of iterations and changing the whole platform, right? So we had a customer version of the app where they can monitor how the system is performing, how is it energy generation, is it performing as expected, as per design, or is it underperforming? They are able to raise service requests, everything. So we kind of digitize their journey. And we also built a Freyr Energy platform, which is our ERP software where we do the design, etc. So yeah, I think if you look at how much money goes in building the technology aspect and the time that goes in and the fact that we have to go through so many iterations of it, it is a very tough call because it takes away from your bottom line. But I think in hindsight, I think what has given us the scale today, right? Like we are number one in AP and Telangana. We are number two in the country out of like 20,000 registered vendors that are doing exactly what Freyr is doing. And we are able to do this only because of the tech platform that we've built and the fact that I'm end-to-end accountable. So it's very similar in some other ways, like how the Big Basket is, right? So the Big Basket, even the guy who delivers to your house is on the payroll of Big Basket, right? Or third-party payroll. So everyone in the ecosystem belongs to them, and that's the model they believe. Very similar to that, where I have accountability, right? It shouldn't be that the person who's come to your house to install, I have no say on what time they're showing up. Are they skilled labor? Are they trained? Are they doing the right thing? So I think it is very important. It is not as commoditized. I think that is the other thing. How much ever I would love to say solar is a commoditized product, it's not something you go to a shop and buy, like an electric vehicle, or let's say a diesel generator or a AC, fridge, you cannot compare it to that because there is a second layer of we have to take approval on your subsidy, we have to make sure the feasibility is done with your electricity department, the local approvals have to be taken. If you need a loan, we have to process the loan according to that, the financing. So there is all these other things where accountability becomes super critical, and I still think that if I had to build it, it probably will be the same answer, where the customer journey is super critical to us, that our tagline is also making solar simple, and the only way we can do is not just by telling them buy solar, but also to deliver on it. And it is the engagement of 25 years. It's an asset life of 25 years. So it becomes very critical that I don't do one part of it. I think now if I look at it, there's a lot of opportunity in the entire value chain. There are companies that are doing just lead generation, or they're doing only design work, or they are building out tools that are necessary for me to scale. So we are also looking at some of those opportunities. It's not that 100% is end-to-end. We do integrate and learn from what's happening in the market, yeah.
Great. No, I think maybe we'll go to Namita and then I'll come to you and you'll see why. So, Namita, I think you have had a very different journey, right? You've acquired your customer one at a time, every business customer that you've acquired. And water and sanitation has to be the toughest to sell, or at least the toughest to get financed. So what have you learned from this? What sells in when you're selling sustainability as a solution? How do you sell value?
Rashi, when I started, I think green was just a color. That was one thing. And blue was just a color. It never made sense to people. But anyways, so the challenge here is with the urban people was that the thought of 67% people open defecating was next to impossible. Like, hey, ऐसा भी होता है? Because we all had toilets. We all had, somewhere our shit was going. We all knew that we could get up in the morning and do. But 67 means 70% of our population didn't know what they were doing. They were polluting groundwater. Dignity was at stake. Health issues were, public health was gone for a toss. And last 60 years, we are doing just that. Some clean sanitation campaigns, some total sanitation campaign, but nothing changed. So what needs to be done? First was that question. So that was where it struck to me that it's not just about the business idea or any sanitation was the toughest, yes. But I think so with lot of things that took note of is by my loud voice, because I spoke very loudly on a lot of big platforms in 2012 and 13, and I just said one thing: I need clean toilets and clean water. That's what I wanted. Whether I do it or the government does it or any other people do it. I think that made a difference, saying, I know I can't do everything. It's a huge problem. So the speaking out at that time made a lot of difference. And you have seen in last, we started this company, I started this work in 2008 actually, because people just see that it's been 2012. But I started working in sanitation space from Indian Railways in 2008. Seeing the journey in last 18 years, if all of it is traveling in trains, you can see how it was in 2007, 6, 5, and how it is now. Yeah, it has not improved, but people have understood what sanitation and water means to them today. When they have clean water at their homes, they have clean toilets, they understand it means something. And it is a big boon because health costs have gone down. So what they are doing in energy, we are doing in water and sanitation. We realized, she said, how do you acquire your customers? Railways had no option because they have to provide that solution. So it was not very difficult to onboard railways in our portfolio. But coming to the corporate sector, first it was completely CSR driven. Then later on, we understood that CSR will dry up very soon. We came up with a lot of products that sell. We sell our biodigesters, our wastewater treatment plants, and we have always, wherever we get stuck, we find a solution. So we also own the whole value. We are not toilet makers, but we made toilets also. I think we have installed more than 30,000 of them. We got a patent for one modular toilet who everybody copied and did it. I'm so happy about it. It was a success. So coming to that value chain, the whole value chain of toilet starts from the morning when we get into the toilet till it is disposed somewhere in landfill. But that's again a wrong, but I'm just telling you the story. It goes to a treatment system, treated it, waste is collected, dried, then sold. So it's a long value chain. And I believe we had to own all of this because nobody was there. But today a lot of startups have come, a lot of things have happened, people are doing it, but still we are doing all of it. So I think that's where we are at the moment.
Yeah, please, applause. So Vinod, we have Radhika's company that's replacing dirty power, and Namita's company that's cleaning up our water and our land, right? Both of them generating clear, verifiable environmental outcomes. And you're monetizing those outcomes, right? but is the value flowing back to them, or is it where is the value from that monetization flowing?
I think there are two aspects to it. I'll take a step back here. When we started Telangana, so if you, I think a big round of applause, which is required for the three ladies who are leading it here. We are talking, we have, it is not easy for any person to build a business from scratch, and they have done it. And it is not, when we are talking about India number 1, everybody has been a part of startup. So that is one key element which is there. But where we see value is in that, I think going back to the morning session, there are key partnerships which actually, so we complement each other. So I require energy, I require water. So the same way, every organizations require each other, support. So I think partnering each other and not going with a direct investment in a full-fledged way, but there are steps with, I think the madam mentioned, telling that we have to do from start to end, but we cannot do everything. So we need to have those partner ecosystem in place where people can bridge and everybody's revenue streams are also taken care.
Here I would like to say that we have partnered with Resustainability to provide sanitation systems in all their recycling units. We just completed that project.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
So I think now let's address the big elephant in the room, which is funding always, which is what my inbox is always full with, is, every startup ever asking for funding, right? And in sustainability, it's that much harder, right? So here we have, two companies who have gone that 0 to 1 journey, raised a significant amount of capital. And capital is still in sustainability, especially at the early stage, very difficult to raise. So how did you cross that chasm, Namita and then Radhika, or whichever order? And what advice can you give to some of the young founders here who are in that early stage trying to raise capital?
So yeah, so I think AndPurpose does a lot of grants, so please check it out. It is interesting because the first amount of money that we ever received was from a foundation in Netherlands called Doen Foundation, and it was a convertible debt at the time, and that's what kind of gave us, apart from the fact that we raised some bank loans, etc. It was also a crazy journey with with SBH at the time, now SBI, but even they had debt available, but they could not find us in the drop down box as to what category do you fall, how do I issue this loan against this category, right? So it was a very tough journey starting from that, because there is no asset, right? We are a services company. I don't manufacture anything. I am taking material, integrating it, and putting on top of homes and businesses. So it becomes very difficult to kind of raise money for some business like that. But at the same time, it's a very working capital heavy business. You have to have the stock, you have to make sure we are developing the technology, there are overheads, and we are building for scale. So I think some of the interesting things that happened with us, we have Schneider Electric as an investor. They kind of helped us connect with Total Energies. They were an investor who we already gave an exit to. We had C4D Capital from Netherlands again. They had invested, early investors in Freyr Energy. They were all impact investors. So that is definitely patient capital. We didn't realize, we didn't know too much about that aspect, but those investors found us very apt for investing. Like, though I was not building a business for just the social impact, I always talk about it like, solar is great for the, the environment, etc. The byproduct, that is the byproduct, right? I mean, we are building a business that is going to be sustainable, that is going to be profitable, and that is the objective, and we're going to scale this. But yes, it is also very good for the environment, and I think right now it's reached a scale. There is a no-brainer to put solar, right? It's got 30 to 40% return on investment, and I don't think any investment today can give you a guaranteed returns of 40%. The sun will rise, the sun will set, you will have your units electricity that are going to be generated. So that is the powerful statement solar has today. So I think these were some of the investors we were able to onboard, but the dilemma has always been this, right? We were able to get business. We were able to, so we were not like a pre-revenue company. So that is actually a negative thing in a way where the VC world is not excited about, right? Like they're trying to say, what can you do with your technology? Can you remove the tech piece and give it to other companies and build a SaaS company, right? That is where the value is. That's what they understood, and they actually insisted. Many companies who came to invest wanted us to remove our tech part and give it as a SaaS product and build it out for the world, not just for India. But we believe that that solution is for us, for India, and to leverage that platform. So these were the challenges where it was not a private equity game, because you're not growing at 5-10%, but I'm not looking to raise 50 million, 100 million back in the day. We were looking at small amount of money. But I think the impact investors is a very good space to have a conversation between up to 500,000, 1 million, 2 million, that kind of a range. And that has definitely helped. And these names bringing a brand like Total Energy, Schneider, carries a huge value. Forget about the money they have put into Freyr, but the fact that they believed in us has built a lot of trust. They've done follow-on rounds also when we were looking to raise the next round and the next round. So that also puts a lot of trust in, the way the company has grown over the years.
Namita, you've had a tougher journey with capital.
Yeah, a little bit, but whatever Radhika was saying, it's like almost similar experiences in the start, like sanitation as a for-profit company. Nobody understood that. But anyways, coming to that, so of course I took loans, whatever I could do. I tried to, despite having contracts with Indian Railway, securing funding was the toughest of all, because you need collateral. I can only build a business or buy a house. I can't do both together. So I decided to build the business. Coming to the thing in 2018, we decided we desperately needed money. Desperately we tried doing a lot of work, going to funding, and nobody understood the sanitation bit, because, of course, because we all have that access. The problem, nobody connected with it. So we went IPO. He said, okay, let's go and take money from public. So we are a public listed company in 2019, started as an SME platform. Today we are in the main platform, and our share price is around 100 rupees. So we are doing well. So that's what happened. And everybody said your IPO is going to fail. But we just scraped it, God's blessing. Because maybe God wanted us to do this. I always believe in that. Coming to the next part is that, of course, sanitation was one bit, but there's another bit to it, the water. Without water, toilets will not function. So we understood the relationship between the main problem of managing the fecal waste to managing the water, and then really finding a value into this. So we ventured in 2020, like in the COVID, this was the challenge, because we were all homebound, our quality of water was not good. And then we realized that why don't we mix both of them and then scale the business instead of just focusing on one problem and not on the other. So we set up a company called Megaliter Varuna, which is the asset funding platform, and also is doing a lot of work on water credits and all. So that company basically raises funds for Banka Bio. Banka Bio is the ops company which does everything under the sky in the whole value chain, and Megaliter is just helping us scale it. So we already have a SaaS model, which is, again, as she said, it's called STP as a service, where we just promise one thing to our customer: just look at equal to clean water. Means we promise to give you clean water. How we give you, don't ask us that question, because that's what we can't answer. We only know the output. So output-based solution has worked for this particular business model, and for us also, because a lot of new technologies are coming, a lot of new interventions are happening. We are not a core technology company. We are a core process engineers. We try to bring in those people. We try to get those processes in and try to do a lot of experiments. So we do a lot. We have, last year, we have treated 1.5 billion liters of water and recycled it. We have our working plant in my home Bhuja. We have my home Bhuja, my home Abra, my home Avatar, my home Vihanga, Skyview, RMZ, Nexus Mall, Lulu Mall, name them. And this is what we could give in 3 years. So going forward, I understand there is a big opportunity, not in just terms of business, but value. Water is life. We need to recycle it. And each one of us are responsible for that. Somebody else will not do it. So coming up with the innovative business model where funding is a challenge, we have brought in Megaliter, help us that. Coming to the next growth phase of ours is completely digitizing all our plant. How she has done it, we are in that process. Maybe within 2 years, we'll have all our plants digitized. We can see it in a control room, how our plants are working and how is the heart beating. So that's the goal. And I think any startup wants to do, it's a huge opportunity in water and sanitation space.
I hope we've inspired a few young entrepreneurs, and as you can see, very creative solutions, everything from grants to impact investments to public markets to external financing mechanisms is on the table. You just have to think creatively about capital. I think yours is a very different setup, Vinod. You're a over 1,000 crore KKR funded, organization. How does that help? Can you move as fast as them, or do they move faster?
Again, very apt question on this. And just to share, we are going through, as I represent Net Zero, and we have built you will not believe this, there are 13 companies within resustainability who are going through this crunch of startup. And let me tell you, in India, if you look at, there are lakhs of companies where everybody would like to be a startup, everybody would like to be a founder, and everybody gives the investment pitch, and sabko paisa bhi milta hai. But the major issue or the pain area, if you can read between the lines, specifically the two leaders who were here, they were able to solve the pain area. And pain area at what cost? And there are steps which are evolved. So for us, resustainability is a bigger brand name. Yes, we are also going through a huge crunch as an organization in terms of revenue, that is one, but also we are growing multifold. So there are organizations like JP, Bain, all those people who are coming in. KKR is moving out. So relatively, we have huge pressure on us to one, not only keep that maintained name, but again, we are also at a ground level, we understand the pain area at a startup ecosystem, the funding. That's how you see there, the Eco Hub, which is built in. We would like to host a lot of startups. And sitting at this table, there are a lot of sustainability forums which happen. But I take this responsibility. My team is sitting over there. I could interact with 3-4 startup founders over here. In fact, I have volunteered them. With a zero investment, come partner with us, start working along with us. Investments will come, but at least there will be some revenue stream which will be keep flowing in.
Great, good to hear that you're looking at it as a paid forward mission and encouraging more startups. So if you're in this room and hearing this, please associate yourself. Are we organizers? Do we have time for audience questions? Are there any burning questions anybody wants to ask? No questions, or the gulab jamuns were too. Yes, please.
थैंक यू नमिता मैम. सो मैंने वही सुना था मोदी जी ने मतलब हर घर जो सैनिटेशन के बारे में बोल रहे थे, तो मेरे मन में एक ही आया था पूरा लाइक केमिकल क्लीनिंग मटेरियल आएगा पूरा, वो मेंटेन भी नहीं कर पाएगा, तो फिर वही उसको जस्ट लाइक स्टोर रूम जैसे यूज़ कर रहे बोल के सुना था. मगर बाद में कुछ इसके बारे में कुछ सुना था मैंने, क्या किस तरह से अवेयर करना लोगों को ये बोला था. मगर आपसे मैं अभी सस्टेनेबल के बारे में गांव में काम कर रहे हैं और अर्बन्स में काम कर रहे हैं, तो मैं आपसे मतलब आपका कंपनी से कॉमन मैन एम्बॉय विथ बंका बायो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से करने का चांस है नहीं, वे मेरा क्वेश्चन है.
Sure, why not? I am for common man. I am also a common person.
Okay,
So we are for that. It is for our health.
Yes, ma'am.
तो हमारे लिए जो भी अच्छा होगा और हमारे सब लोगों के लिए, इंडियंस के लिए जो अच्छा होगा, मैं तो वही नारा लेके चलती हूँ. मैं भारतीय हूँ और भारतीय रहने वाली हूँ.
धन्यवाद जी, धन्यवाद.
Last question.
Can I go? Are there any micro entrepreneurial opportunity for women? About 20,000-30,000 companies out there doing this at the ground level, local. So I'm not displacing people. I'm able to provide employment for people very local. So if you are an ITI skilled, or you are, you've completed any education higher than 12th, there is an opportunity. And I think for women also, there is a lot that they can learn and skill themselves. I would say in the value chain of solar, I can talk. I mean, there is, we do on the installation, right? So there is also manufacturing of solar. Right now, there is a backward integration. If anybody is aware, June 1st, there was a new law that we cannot put any more solar panels in which the cells are coming from China. So this is a big, I mean, this was anticipated. Now it is like a reality. Even forget about is there capacity in India, but they've put it. The government of India has done it. So now what does it mean? You have to manufacture the cell also in India. And now in couple of years time or to next year, they're going to make the backward integration. Even the wafer has to come in India. So that's going to remove a lot of element from China today, what is happening with them. So India is going to have to be self-sufficient. And there is going to be a lot of skill development at that level, right? Like in the factories, in the supply chain of it, right? Transportation, it could be around, even for Freyr, we are constantly looking for women, and we are about 20-30% women employees in the company also at the headquarters. But it's a thing around like, let's say community solar is there and you need to have somebody to maintain that system. Absolutely. I mean, I think women are very accountable. If there is something that we can do on it, I'm happy to collaborate. But yeah.
No, I think even in water and sanitation, we need a lot of skill. We require a lot of people. Yeah, we have about, one time we had almost 1,000 people whom we trained, and they were working for us, but we lost some tenders, so now they're moved to others. So we have created that kind of an opportunity for people to be trained in bio toilets, maintenance, and all of it. And of course, we don't have a dedicated training center, but we do train people on the ground, and they keep coming and going, and we have no qualification criteria. You just want to learn and work in this field, you are welcome.
Yeah, on sanitation and bio toilets and chemical toilets and all. I live in a village and also alternately in Hyderabad. So I have seen a transformation of people constructing attached toilets in villages, but they're using Western toilet, which I don't like. Because Western toilets are not healthy. They consume more water. It's a seat on which everybody, multiple people go and sit. It becomes dirty or whatever, it's not safe and hygienic. So the villagers were very comfortable squatting and doing whatever, in a natural way. And this modernization, I somehow feel, we shouldn't be encouraging the Western toilets at least to keep people healthy and hygienic. What's your take on that?
I kept a lot of things very simple. We have to get 67% people inside the toilet. That was our aim. You want squat, do squat. You want WC, do WC. You want to sit above the thing, I have nothing to do with that. I don't want you to take the lota and go outside. We wanted India to be open defecation free. And that's what India has achieved. We have not done lakhs and lakhs of things, but 12 crore toilets were built during the Swachh Abhiyan. And I believe if people are saying it's not working, I believe maybe 20%, but 50% people have gone inside. So that's the achievement. So when you say, sir, that's a personal preferences, people want the toilet to be put like this, like that, it's okay, do what you want. You want to build it with gold, build it. I have no problem. But build a toilet, go inside, and have a waste management system. Now, the second challenge as a company we have faced is that, okay, we have built the toilets. Somebody said that it is being used as a storeroom. Yes, I have seen my own toilets being used as a thing. But when this movement of Swachh Bharat happened, awareness about dignity happened, people have started feeling good and people have started feeling ashamed if they don't have a toilet. Before it used to be pride, I like to go outside. But now it's not the situation, and it will improve day by day because our children are growing older, they are becoming intelligent, they are becoming the decision maker, and they have been taught in school to use toilets because of this Swachh Vidyalaya and school sanitation program. So change doesn't happen in one day. I believe new things will come, new things will go, but as a toilet is a very, very personal choice. What happens inside, I should not be making fun, but some of the VCs asked me, can you count how much of shit is coming? I said, that's not possible. I can't go put a camera inside. So calculating the impact of treatment was very, very difficult for me. So what I'm trying to say is that as a startup, you have to understand what is your end goal. And once you decide that, I think nothing stops you.
Great, thank you so much. I think we have to, sorry, ma'am, we have to, yeah. Neck to neck.
One to Mr. Vinod Raghavan. Just one question. We are talking of LEED certified buildings, comes from the US, you talk of it restricted to urban. It should go beyond. Question.
Yeah, if you look at a corporate or factories level, so factories are located at rural and other industrial areas. So factories have to get into that. And there are some, if you look at branded resorts or those kind of organizations which are there. So it will start entering into that. This is the first phase of it. It should go in.
Great, thank you so much. I'm sorry.
I think the madam had raised hand. One quick question
Okay,
for a
one
minute.
quick question and then we close.
Students who are there. In fact, we keep hiring left, right, center interns. So that's the first one to start off with. So we have volunteered. On an average, we have around 10-15 interns all the time supporting. They come with a very good ideas, thoughts, and thinking. And a lot of things they teach us. So when you talk about youth as an organization, we are actually getting into a career growth building path for them. So if they are plus 12, after that, they work along with us in the whether 2 months or 1 year kind of internship. We build their career towards that sustainability goals. And we also help them. I am sure there is a student sitting over here. And the moment they graduate, they want to build their own startup. So we host them, we support them. So youth are the future of sustainability. Thanks.
Quick,
So I think a lot of us speak at university campuses also. The narrative around sustainability and impact should not be about, it's not for profit. That's not the mindset, right? The mindset is that these are scalable solutions. These are also, we are also using AI. We are also trying to do product development. We are doing exactly what any other business is doing. It's just that the sector is solar. It could be healthcare. It could be anything. So there is, that narrative has to change. There is a lot of capital that is being infused into climate space today. So definitely consider it that, it's an entire sector that has opened up and not something you can ignore. Like, it's larger than AI, because if your AI has to run, it needs electricity, right? And eventually, so it is about sustainability. Like she said, water is critical, electricity is critical. Without that, kuch nahi chalne wala hai. Nahi.
So answering her question about role, the biggest role the youth is going to play is decision making in sustainability. They understand what is the problem and what is the future. If I have to approach a client who is 65 years old or 60 years old and approach another CEO who is 40 years old, the difference is he decides like this and he takes 3 months to decide. So for the success of any of us depends on you youth guys. Seriously, all of the guys are going to make sustainable companies actually sustainable.
Great. Glad to hear that. I hope the youth here is energized. I'm glad to see, that Telangana is creating heroes in sustainability, or heroines in sustainability. like the ones we have on stage today. I'm so proud to be sitting with two such women on the stage. And of course, Resustainability has, established itself as the largest sustainability corporation, in the country, right? Not just Telangana. So with that, we bring this panel to a close. Thank you so much. I didn't expect so much excitement after lunch, so thank you for staying engaged.